Holy moly, look who's in the house. AMD's brand new Radeon RX 6500 XT, guys, their most affordable GPU in the 6000 series and the little brother of 6600. Now that was fast, right? We were just talking about this GPU 2 weeks ago when AMD announced it during their CES event, and this thing is already in my hands. So guys, I've been using this GPU since the past few days, almost like 8-9 days, guys, and during my testing, I've observed a lot of things about this GPU. And today in this video, we'll be talking about the performance, benchmarks, we'll be comparing it with a lot of other variants as well, and I'll be sharing like my complete experience on this card. And not only that, guys, I'm actually a bit confused about this model. There are like so many conflicts in my head, and you'll exactly need to see this video like till the end to know what I want to say. There are like goods and bads, so make sure you don't miss any part of this video because that can be like quite crucial for you people. Anyways, first let's get started with the unboxing. So guys, here's our brand new GPU from AMD, their all new Radeon RX 6500 XT, the little brother of their 6600 series, and we've got the aftermarket edition from ASRock. It's their Phantom Gaming Dual Fan Edition model, guys, and comes in this sort of box packaging. So as I've told you before, even the RX 6500 XT is based on their RDNA2 architecture and is mainly targeted for 1080p gaming and comes with 4 gigs of VRAM on board. There's actually a story behind this. I'll tell you about that in this video. And as usual, it does support PCIe Gen 4 as well. Going to the back side, you got some more details of the product, like about the design and all that stuff. And without wasting any more time, let's quickly get started with the unboxing. Let me just tear this seal on the package, open the box and show you the GPU. There you go. As soon as you open the box, we've got the product at the top. And oh boy, guys, look at this, our brand new RX 6500 XT in the hands. We'll just come back to this in a moment. Keeping it aside, looks like you've got some paperwork in the package, which I'm pretty sure nobody's gonna read. Anyways, keep it aside. And now let me give you all a closer look at the GPU, guys. The much awaited budget graphic card of 2022. Let me just peel off this sticker. Oh wow, look at that GPU. Looks beautiful, right? Very nice build quality from my first impressions, and I've been using so many of these powerful GPUs that this thing looks very small and compact to me. I know that it's a budget card, but still, anyways, it's quite lightweight and compact. On the front, you've got this beautiful streaks, guys, on the front shroud, and has like a two-tone design on it. You can see that it's got this brushed metal kind of finish and looks quite a premium for the price point. And as I've told you guys, it's a dual fan edition card and comes with like 2 fans at the top side. Now going to the top side, let me give you a side profile of the GPU. So over here, you've got the Radeon branding. It says Phantom Gaming to the left side, and this is where you'll need to connect the power connector. It only has one 8-pin power connector, guys, and the brand says that the minimum power supply recommended is around like 400 to 450 watts. And here's how the GPU looks from the back side. It does come with a backplate, metal backplate, so quite premium actually. It says Phantom Gaming logo to the left, and as you can see, the backplate is covering only like 60% of the area and remaining part is all exposed. I think this is for like better airflow, guys, to keep the air running through it. And you can even observe these copper heat pipes going through these chunky blocks of heat sinks. And that's it. Now going to the bottom part, guys, here is where you've got the PCIe Gen 4 connector under this rubber cover, and that's it. Now let me also show you all the available connectivity IO ports on the GPU. So there are very limited ports on this because it's a budget card, right? You only have like one HDMI and one display port available on it. So that's it, our complete overview on the design and the build quality part. Now let's talk about the main specs and highlights of the RX 6500 XT. RX 6500 XT is one of the very first discrete GPUs that is based on a 6nm process. It's got the same RDNA2 architecture and features 4 gigs of GDDR6 memory. I know 4GB is a bit limited, but the reason AMD did this is to deter all the crypto miners in the world so that it would be like unattractive for them, thus benefiting all the gamers with the availability advantage. Though 8GB model could be released soon, guys, AMD is also planning for that, so keep that in mind. It's got a game clock frequency of around 2610 MHz and a boost clock frequency of 2815 MHz. 16 compute units and ray accelerators are also there. So yes, hardware ray tracing support is also present and features 16 MB of AMD Infinity Cache with smart access support as well. Alright, time to talk about the performance, but before that, let me quickly tell you the test bench setup we'll be using for this card. It's an all AMD setup having Ryzen 7 5800X CPU, Asus TUF X 570 gaming motherboard, Corsair 16GB Vengeance Pro RAM clocked at 3200 MHz, and a regular M.2 SSD for the storage. We'll be playing a couple of AAA title games as usual and then check out the performance. See, AMD's main target was to offer you a great 1080p gaming experience on a budget, like an upgrade for all the 1650 or RX 570 users. So we'll be doing all the testings at 1080p resolution only. And since it's a budget GPU guys, let's start the test by setting the graphics to high mode. And right now we are playing the most demanded game by you people, GTA 5. Just check out this clip. As you can see, we are playing this game at 1080p high graphic settings, and you can keep an eye on the stats at the top left corner. And by the way, I didn't screen record the gameplay because I didn't want it to have any sort of performance drop while showing it to you people, so I used my camera to record the gameplay. Anyways, just check out these clips, you'll get an idea. Okay, not bad guys, decent performance for the price. We were getting around 85 to 90 FPS on this card and sometimes hitting 100 FPS also. Again, this was done in high graphic settings, right? And when you switch over to the ultra graphics mode, it was averaging to around 70 to 75 FPS. But to be honest, I'm actually not that impressed with the performance considering it's 2022. I mean, seriously, if you observe closely, the performance on this card is actually pretty similar to AMD's 5500 XT, which came almost like 3 years ago. And that too at the same price tag. And on top of that, 5500 XT actually had better specs compared to this. Like it offered 8 gigs of VRAM, better memory bus with faster bandwidth and speeds. Like seriously, AMD, you guys rock CPU division. Why make GPUs like this? The only thing that's improved on this particular card is it's got lower power consumption. That too thanks to Radeon at 6nm architecture. And also adds support for ray tracing. That is it. Not just this one, I've played a couple of other titles as well, like Far Cry 6, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and was getting similar results. On Far Cry 6 at 1080p high settings, we were averaging around 70 FPS. But Shadow of the Tomb Raider was a bit graphic intensive, right? Over there, I was getting only around like 50 FPS at 1080p high settings. But lowering down the settings to medium actually offered me around like 70 to 75 FPS. And also even on games like AC Valhalla, we were getting around like 60 to 65 FPS at 1080p medium settings. So based on my testing, the performance was fine, but I had lots of expectations on it. It is faster than 1650 by almost 1.4 times and definitely has an edge over the RX 570, but stands right there with the old 5500 XT. By the way, are you people looking at the GPU stats? Thermal performance on the card is also pretty good. Ours is the OC edition, right, and has a TDP of around 115 to 120 watts, and the GPU temperature was averaging around 56 to 57 degrees on an average, and reaching around like 60 degrees after gaming non-stop for about 2 to 3 hours. Lastly, let's also try one more game, which is Control. Playing at 1080p max graphic settings, so you'll get an idea like what sort of performance you can expect by pushing the graphics to the limits. And by the way, the 6500 XT also supports ray tracing as well, but as expected guys, ray tracing performance was not that great on this card. When you turn DXR on, the performance was dropping by almost like 50%. As you can see, without DXR right now, we're getting around 45 FPS, correct? But with the DXR enabled, I was getting only around like 25 to 26 FPS, and it's pretty much the same in most other titles. But you do have AMD's FSR support just like DLSS, so that definitely did give a boost in the performance, but thing is, not all games have support for that technology, so you'll have to keep that in mind. Now, keeping the gaming part aside, let me tell you one more important note which is very crucial for creators or people looking to buy this card for productivity. The 6500 XT does not support video encoding. Yes, there is no H265 or even H264 encoding support on this card. What that means is when you use apps like Adobe Premiere Pro, you won't get hardware encoding option, and because of this, when you try to export a simple video, the whole thing takes a lot of time compared to the competition. Almost double the time guys. Exporting a simple 10-minute 4K H264 video would take almost like 20 minutes compared to what the 5500 XT could do in almost real time. Major letdown for all the content creators. When a 3-year-old card had that support, why did you remove it in 2022 AMD? I've got so many questions for you. Anyways, on the overall, I felt 5500 XT was actually a better deal for the price point. But unfortunately, I don't think that card is available anymore. So this is what you'll have to make do now in 2022. And talking about the price, AMD announced it as a $200 GPU at CES, which roughly converts to around 15,000 rupees in India. But considering the whole situation that is going on right now, I really doubt if it would be available for that price. If it's really available for 15 to 16,000 in India, then okay guys, it's acceptable. But buying it at inflated prices wouldn't make sense. What do you people think about this? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you all enjoyed this video and got to learn a lot, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more awesome videos. And I'll see you all in my next one.